Hello everyone and welcome back to Humanities Adda. So this is going to be a discussion on chapter 1 of your The Origins of Civilization, the Prehistory and Early Archaeology of South Asia of Bridget and Raymond Allchin. So this is part 1 of this discussion, and this is specifically for DU students of history honors, because this is clearly mentioned in your syllabus that you have to do the chapter 1 and chapter 2 for your unit 1, and you're also supposed to do further chapters in the different units, but we are specifically dealing for unit 1 over here. So we will be first looking at chapter 1 and what it has to, what are the major points that we have to look in this chapter. So we will just get a glimpse of the chapter 1, that is rediscovery of the past. And I hope that after watching this kind of summary, or kind of, you can say, short discussion on this, you will be able to get through the reading the chapter very easily. It's not that tough. The language is very easy, I can say. So here, the first subtopic that you see in this chapter is that why should we try to rediscover the past? So here the author, he tries, the historian, you can say the archaeologist, here they have written that individual archaeological finds, they are very exciting, because we see that if you find, and the archaeologists, they are excavating and they find suddenly if they get something kind of like a sculpture which is very unique, or kind of seals, for instance in case of Harappan civilization, and hoards of jewelry and hoards of coins, etc. So ये ऐसे अगर आपको आर्कियोलॉजिकल फाइंड्स मिलते हैं, तो these are kind of very exciting archaeological finds, but you do not have any meaning associated to these archaeological finds until and unless you put them into a cultural context, because without context these archaeological finds are of no use. In your class 12th history, you must have done the Harappan civilization, and there you find that until and unless a culture, a context was there to put the Harappan artifacts, they were useless to the archaeologist. तो Alexander Cunningham को उस टाइम पे भी take it as an example कि though he was getting the seals, he did not know where to put these seals and where to put these seals in which time frame, because he did not have the context to put these artifacts, those artifacts, you can say. So just wait a second. Now for instance, if you see कि ये जो unique artifacts मिले, the relationship between these individual exciting finds and the less dramatic finds में you can say the normal जो आपके finds होते हैं, like the pottery, the cookware, and the houses, which are very usual and which are not that eye catching for the archaeologist. So उन दोनों के बीच में जो एक रिलेशनशिप एस्टैब्लिश होता है, उसके बाद आप देखते हो कि जो आपके आर्टिफैक्ट्स हैं, जो आपके आर्कियोलॉजिकल एक्सकैवेशन में निकली हुई चीजें हैं, उनको एक मीनिंग मिलने लगती है. एंड देन दे यू विल सी कि वो एक इम्पॉर्टेंट पीस ऑफ बन जाते हैं इमर्जिंग पिक्चर ऑफ द ह्यूमन पास्ट के, एंड उस पर्टिकुलर रीजन के स्पेसिफिकली जहां से वो आ रहे हैं. सो यू हैव टू have to relate the finds together. You have to establish a relationship between different finds so as to get a cultural context. एक context आपको होना चाहिए, मिलना चाहिए, because individual finds, they do not tell you anything about for instance अगर आपको एक hoard मिला है, तो अगर वो किसी घर के किसी हट के नीचे मिल रहा है, तो वो एक कॉन्टेक्स्ट होता है कि वी आर फाइंडिंग दीज दिस होर्ड बिलो अ हट, और ग्रेव में अगर आपको गुड्स मिल रहे हैं, सो यू नो कि दीज आर ग्रेव गुड्स, सो यू हैव अ कॉन्टेक्स्ट देयर. सो दिस इज हाउ यू रिलेट द आर्कियोलॉजिकल फाइंड्स, and then they start to have some kind of meaning, and then there emerge a picture of the human past. और एक पर्टिकुलर रीजन से ये सारी चीजें मिल रही होती है, तो आपको एक धीरे धीरे जो है हिस्ट्री इमर्ज होती है. यू कैन सी सर्टेन image of the past. Then now we can establish a relationship. Now we have to find a time frame in which this culture was flourishing, or this period, or these people, they were existing or they were staying. So now we have to relate these objects with a settlement. तो वहां पे जो सेटलमेंट है, लोकेलिटी है, उस immediate context में, relating the immediate context in which finds like these are made to localities or settlement. For instance, अगर आपको ये grave goods मिल रहे हैं, एक grave में मिल रहे हैं, तो you have to locate that grave within a settlement. उसको grave को आपको associate करना होगा एक particular settlement से, locality से. Then you get कि this was the settlement with which this grave is associated and the goods are associated. So you now get to know about a particular kind of settlement and the people living there, and they have their own goods, and that is their culture. Now then you associate themselves, or you can say you relate them, this settlement, to other settlement of the same period which were existing in different regions, and the settlements of the earlier period and later periods, which you can see in archaeological excavation. आपको layers में मिल जाते हैं, mound में मिल जाते हैं, stratigraphy होती है, which you have already somehow seen in the Harappan civilization, Indus Valley civilization वाले chapter में. mound formation, stratigraphy आपने देखा है कि किस तरीके से layers में you can get the time frame of different cultures. So now hence we start getting a clear picture of the past. So यहाँ से आप देख रहे हो कि archaeological finds के through we start getting a clear picture of the past, and things become a bit clearer. Now I hope this much is clear. Now next thing is that it is very important to keep in mind that the development of human culture, now we have to keep in mind कि human culture का जो development है, ये एक dynamic process है, and it involves continuous change. So it is not like that कि culture once formed, it remains the same and nothing will change in that culture. No, culture is always evolving, it is always changing. And though you think that our Indian culture is like this and our Indian culture is like that, but you never know what was our culture like 1,000 years back or 500 years back. So yes, it is evolving and it will evolve. It is evolving. It will be something else in the future. It was something else in the past. We never know. Okay, so we are living in the present. The culture was something in the past. The culture will be something different in the future. So the next thing is that differing cultural tradition. This is your next subtopic that is in chapter 1. Now here we see that different regions in if you talk about the Indian subcontinent, or you can say the South Asian region, or you can take world as a whole, the whole, the different regions, different civilizations, you can say कि different regions में आपको different cultures देखने के लिए मिलते हैं. And इसको हम कैसे identify करते हैं, and how we know that these cultures are different, we get to know about this from the archaeological finds, because different regions में आपको different objects मिल रहे हैं, different kinds of objects मिल रहे हैं, sculptures different है, pottery different है. And you can say that culture की जो definition है आपकी 12th की book में, you go back to that chapter 1 and see there what does actually culture mean in archaeological sense. Group of objects, within a particular region, within a particular time frame, and these objects, they are very unique. So unique objects हैं, and so I hope this is clear. Next we find कि एक जो particular prehistoric culture रहा एक रीजन में, you will see कि that prehistoric culture has influenced the historic culture. That means the historic culture, by historic culture we mean for the period for which we have the written records. तो प्री हिस्टोरिक कल्चर से आपका जो हिस्टोरिक कल्चर है वो इन्फ्लुएंस हुआ है, एंड इवन द मॉडर्न कल्चर्स लाइक इवन present times they have been somehow influenced by the prehistoric culture. So the region, for instance पंजाब का जो रीजन है वहां जो prehistoric culture exist करता होगा, the same culture is somehow present over there now also. So you can say there is a continuous, carrying on of these cultural tradition, and changes जो है थोड़े बहुत हुए हैं, लेकिन आपको वो एक एलिमेंट जो है प्री हिस्टोरिक कल्चर का वो अभी भी देखने के लिए मिलेगा. सो वन कैन से कि these are the features which are not shared with the past or present cultures of other regions. ये कुछ जो आपके फीचर्स हैं ये ना ही किसी पास्ट या फिर प्रेजेंट कल्चर्स में दूसरे रीजन के आपको देखने के लिए मिलेंगे. सो दे आर वेरी डिस्टिंक्ट फीचर्स जो प्री हिस्टोरिक कल्चर के थे, एंड दे still exist in the modern cultures, modern times. And talking about the example, you can just look in the reading and you can comment in the comment section that what examples are there about this kind of, the features of prehistoric cultures even present today in modern cultures, in modern times. So you can just look at this portion of the chapter and look for the examples. It's there. Two examples are given there. I want you to go through that and just let me know what are the examples. So then you can say one can say that we are all to a large extent what it should be what our past has made us as individuals, as communities, and as nations, and also as part of human race. So it is very you can say obvious कि present में जो हम हैं as individuals, communities, nations, or even you can say as a part of human race, we are all shaped by our past. जो past में हमारा कल्चर रहा वही कहीं ना कहीं उसने ही हमें प्रेजेंट में भी इन्फ्लुएंस किया है, and we are somehow shaped by our past. So next is that a community or nation is influenced by, see, here are some of the factors. For instance, geography is very important. Geography is very one of the most important, you can say, factor for influencing the you know country, or shaping the identity of the people, shaping the nation as a whole, shaping the communities. Then you have the environmental factors at play, and we will be discussing about environment also. And second chapter is basically inclining towards geography and environment of the Indian subcontinent, and that is very interesting to see the impact of environment and how environment has led to the course of led to the direction of history, and how it has impacted the history of humankind. And historical factors, obviously we will see ki prehistoric times and how our culture was there, and how we were shaped by geographical and environmental, and how then we as people, we had a certain kind of history, and then history writing, historiography took place, and then वो historical factors भी role play करते हैं, because our history writing also somehow influence our identity, because the way our history is written or the way we write our history is also, Romila Thapar, she writes, not Romila Thapar, in the book of Romila Thapar, that is also suggested in your reading list, we see that she quotes one of the historian that history writing also influences our identity. So the nature of historiography that a country has, or that a nation has, is also one of the important factor shaping our present and our identity. So next is that the study of history and geography, if done accurately and critically, enable us to understand our own country, cultural tradition, and how we came to be as we are. So it is not like that the study of history and geography, it's even you see that study of geography is considered to be like, it's, yeah, it's important, but the study of history, it's considered as useless by some of the very uh, large section, I can say, not very, but a large section of the society consider humanities as, and history, political science, these subjects as useless, and they treat it as like secondary subjects. But see over here that history also has certain role to play, and if we study history accurately and critically, so we will be able to understand own country, our cultural tradition, and our own past, and how it has influenced us, and how we are shaped, and our identity has been shaped by our past. And then you can say ki history also helps us in understanding the identity and culture of other countries. So if you are well versed with the history of the other countries, you can just you can go for, like, you will understand international relations very well, and it will help you in very in lot of fields, if you can say, you can say that. So at the end, I just want to quote this, that our present identity has its roots deeply entrenched in the past. This is it for part one of it. I'll be uploading another part of it, uh, and we will have a short discussion. I hope this much you have understood and you can go through the reading months. So thank you for watching, and do share, like, share, and subscribe. And this is our Insta handle at the rate humanitiesaada. So thank you so much again. So I'm ending the lecture here. Bye. Bye.